Zilla Fatu has arrived in NXT, and it looks like he already has his eyes on the NXT Championship. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Wrestling Hub, your home for WWE news, rumors, updates, reactions, and everything happening across the world of professional wrestling. And today we have to talk about one of the most interesting developments coming out of NXT. Zilla Fatu is officially here, and honestly, I'm very happy WWE decided to keep the name Zilla Fatu, because this feels like the beginning of something that could become much bigger than just short a short NXT run. Zilla Fatu has arrived and almost immediately the conversation has turned towards the NXT Championship. And if WWE plays this correctly, I think this could be one of the most exciting stories in NXT over the next several months. Zilla Fatu is finally in NXT. Let's start with the obvious. Zilla Fatu has arrived in NXT, and this is a big deal because of everything that comes with his name. He's not just another new wrestler walking into the developmental system. He's connected to one of the most recognized wrestling families in the world. He's part of the Anu Ifu Fatu wrestling legacy, and that alone gives WWE a lot to work with. But here's what I like: WWE didn't need to completely reinvent him. They didn't need to give him some random gimmick. They didn't need to change his name. Zilla Fatu is Zilla Fatu, and that's important because when you have somebody with this much natural presence and this much family history behind them, sometimes the best thing you can do is simply let them be themselves. But why the NXT Championship? Now here's where things get really interesting. Tony Angelos currently has the NXT Championship, and if Zilla Fatu is already looking in direction of that championship, I absolutely understand why. Tony has built himself into one of the major personality in NXT. He's established, he's experienced, he's a champion, and now you have Zilla Fatu walking into NXT with something to prove. That creates a very simple story: the establishment of a championship versus dangerous new rival. And that's exactly the kind of story WWE can build around. Imagine Zilla slowly working his way through NXT. He wins his first match, then another, and eventually he's standing across from Tony Angelo. Tony looks at Zilla and says, "You just got here. You haven't earned anything." And Zilla responds, "I don't need to earn your respect. I came for your championship." That's a story. What about NXT Heatwave? And then we have possibilities of absolutely ridiculous match: Tony Angelo versus Zilla Fatu versus Grayson versus Cruz Montana. A fatal four-way for the NXT Championship. I'm sorry, but that sounds like chaos in the best possible way. You got Tony representing the established championship. You got Zilla representing the new generation. You got Grayson bringing the arrogance and experience, and then you have Cruz Montana third into the mix. The match is practically writes itself. You could have Tony Zilla fighting in the middle of the ring while Waller and Cruz try to steal the championship. You could have Zilla nearly win before somebody pulls him out the ring. You could have Tony retain because Zilla gets distracted, and that could actually make it eventually one-on-one match even bigger. And then there's the bloodline question. But let's talk about the part that has me really interested, the bloodline. Because I don't think Zilla Fatu's being in NXT means he's going to stay there forever. I think WWE have an opportunity to do something very interesting with him. Let Zilla spend a few months in NXT, let him develop it, let him wrestle different opponents, let him become legitimately single star, and then eventually bring him into the main roster. Now, we already seen Zilla Fatu, grind on the indies, choose his own path. It was cool. I don't know why everybody's so mad about it for real, because he grinded and chose his own path instead of going straight to the bloodline. But it is cool that he went to the NXT and then eventually bring him to the main roster. Imagine Zilla showing up when the bloodline needs another major piece. Imagine Roman Reigns looking at him. Imagine Jacob Fatu standing beside him. Imagine the entire family standing together. That visual alone would be huge. WWE doesn't have to rush it. That's the key. Don't rush Zilla Fatu into the bloodline tomorrow. Let him build his own identity first. Let the fans get attached to him as Zilla Fatu. Then when the moment is right, you bring the family connection into the story. Zilla should have his own identity first, and that's actually my biggest piece of the advice for WWE. Please don't make Zilla an entire character. He's related to the Bloodline because he's more than that. He needs to become Zilla Fatu first. Let him become somebody that the fans want to see. Let him have his own rivals. Let him chase his championship. Let him develop his own personality. Then when you eventually bring the into the Bloodline story, it means more. Because now the fans aren't just seeing another family member, they're seeing a star who already built himself. If I had my prediction, if I had to predict what happens next, I think Zilla Fatu could spend the next few months in NXT. I wouldn't immediately put the NXT Championship around his waist. I'd actually have him come extremely close. Maybe he gets screwed out of the championship. Maybe Tony Angelos returns because of the interference. Maybe Zilla loses a huge match but looks incredibly strong. Then you build towards the rematch, and eventually Zilla Fatu wins the NXT Championship. That could be his breakout moment. And after that championship run, you can finally start to think about the main roster. Because imagine Zilla walking into SmackDown as an NXT Championship. Imagine the commentary team explaining his family history. Imagine Roman Reigns watching from backstage. Imagine Zilla Fatu seeing him, and then eventually Zilla Fatu joins the Bloodline. That could be a massive moment. But that's just my prediction. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Zilla Fatu should win the NXT Championship? Would you book Tony Angelos versus Zilla Fatu one-on-one? And most importantly, do you think Zilla Fatu will eventually join the Bloodline? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, Wrestling Hub, turn on notifications so you don't miss the next WWE news update. We're building this thing together. Wrestling Hub is just getting started. I'll see you in the next one.